Episode D is beautiful and delicious. I think you'll like it. Please complete the video for the other, and in the other in a wonderful story of boundless faith. We start with Dr. Khaled Montaser. This post was published by someone written by Mohamed Salah. I hope that cleansing will come to you and that you will suffer torment and remain an example. You die for your kind a mercy. I myself see you suffering and wishing, but you know how to drink a little water, and also publish some posts including the liberated, stubborn, brave and planned Palestinian. Al-Aqsa Mujahid, the clashing leader of Hamas, the martyr Al-Sinwar, did not have tunnels with cheap Zionist tools. Men, brave Muslims, came out of these tunnels. Because of your great fear of war, you created spaces in which your opinions on the resistance appear. With your hands, talking animals were made of you. The tunnels were made of men. You're too low to even come within a meter. Of them, Dr. Khaled Montaser remained. Commenting on the post, he wrote, "What is all this insult and blackness towards Mohamed Salah? It is useless to offer condolences in Sinwar unless these words are directed at Mohamed Salah." And Dr. Khaled Montaser also wrote in the comments, "Is this an image of God in their imagination? Does he grant them all these little wishes?" My wife wrote to him, "Yes, but they are not sick." He wrote, "When the imagination is an accusation that God will bring them Horeb and Helman, when one of them goes and blows himself up and wastes innocent people. Unfortunately, this picture is normal." They basically do not know God. The loving God who associates his son with the wicked and the righteous, there are parties that do not like it anymore. These words are written by electronic committees, most of whom are Christians who hate the Hamas movement. They have an obsession with terrorism, so as you can see, they do this. Their names and children are not in line with their personalities, impersonating a first-class personality to spread strife and hatred in order to cover up the prestige of the martyrs. Look at others. If they were upset, Dr. Khaled responded to her and told her that they were Christians too. Therefore, don't tell anyone not to envy Jan, and write to her that you, like her, are a victim of the narrative of sacred hatred for others. By the way, Jihad, our name is Christians, countries that were a sect of time. The messenger of Islam doesn't exist now. The night I commented on the post that wishes evil for Mohamed Salah, mother. What are you talking about? How can anyone wish for this evil? I seek refuge in God. Dr. Khaled responded with black hearts. Adele called out an absent scholar, claiming to be religious against someone innocent, who he is supposed to represent in her religion. A sincere writer who wishes for someone to see it for himself. May God protect the respected son of Egypt, Mohamed Salah, and long live Egypt with the likes of Mohammed, and there are many of them. Khaled wrote, "Well, they do not pray for him and others from an hour as soon as they start, God willing. They will increase, yes, and their promise will increase success. Clearly their call has been answered." Samia wrote that if God had listened to the prayers of evil and the wishes of the wicked, the world would have been finished long ago. But isn't God like that? God loves people and does not listen to the prayers of the wicked. Nabil wrote that these people need banners like this and posted this warning sign, "Please shake your brain before speaking." We've stopped needing more psychiatric clinics since it became clear we are a danger to ourselves and the entire globe. This is what they call infidels. Don't they have this blackness? Abu Samra wrote, "Doctor, for them it was a great opportunity. If they had wasted it, they would have erased his mind. Their calculations were shattered in the face of a young man's ambition and legitimate dreams, who not only writes his personal history, but also the history of Egypt. We are all witnesses." On the other hand, Dr. Khaled Montaser published a picture of Yasmine Sabry Zaman. She was with Moez Masood, represented in one of his episodes while wearing the hijab, and also her picture now. The book We Suffer from Beauty Phobia and chronic aggression against chica and hugging was a terrible attack on her, which is Venus when she was a sect of the media Amr Adib, and a celebration of her when she was a guest of the preacher Moez Masood when she was wearing the hijab, and the disaster. They are laughing at themselves and deceiving them. They confirm that she is with Moez Masood. She was the sweetest and her face was with Ez Masood, bigger, lighter. Of course, there are many comments. Samar wrote, I am with you, but the first time I knew that she was veiled. Dr. Khaled replied that she was among the girls who went out with Moez Masood, and Lamia wrote that she was not veiled. She was a veiled role worker in Moez Masood Hanan's program. I wrote that people hate beauty and hate women. In particular, if you are successful, beautiful, or phenomenal, you must hide behind a veil or sheikh to make them like you. She is beautiful and has a strong personality and successful. No, it is possible at all. We will not crush her to the ground. And Dr. Khaled responded to her. He said to her, your words summed up the topic, Dr. Hanan. The hatred of beauty. Saad wrote that Zakia realized the truth. Tabet, her enlightened face, and she became more beautiful. Layla wrote a terrible attack on her without a right point. Also, Dr. Khaled Montaser published this post from Sohag when the bone was thrown in the garbage. Do not forget to name it so that it will be a reason for gathering meat on it, and it will be food for our Muslim jinn brothers. It is true, and it is good for the Muslim jinn to eat. These Muslim jinn, when they asked the Prophet about food, he told you that every bone mentions the name of God on it. When you eat, you remember the name of God on the bone. Then you throw the bone in the garbage, the Muslim jinn comes to the bone that. God's name is mentioned when an animal is slaughtered, so when he eats again, it's like he hasn't eaten meat from it. The believing jinn begins by eating from it. Therefore, if you forget to mention God's name at the beginning, then every part named in God's name will support it until the end. Without mentioning God's name over the meal, the melody changes and the Muslim jinn is forbidden from eating, but the disbelieving jinn eats it. The disbelieving jinn and the evidence for her words was revealed from Al-H. The evidence is based on her words. Dr. Khaled Montaser wrote, I do not understand people who do not smile on a bone before throwing it into this trash. What is its gender? You do not know that by doing this, you are depriving the Muslim jinn from eating the bone because he recognizes the bone by naming it, and by doing this, you would have beaten him, and the one who builds up at that time and swallows the entire bone is the infidel jinn. By doing this, you are committing a crime. Please don't ask for trained animal bones. To clean and wipe, there is no blame, because this will make the Muslim jinn disgusted with it and not eat it. Now learn the etiquette of throwing bones. There are still people who care. Did you write this seriously or joking? Dr. Khaled responded to her and said to her seriously. She replied, I don't know how to laugh at them or cry. Honestly, she said, write good evening, excuse me. On the intervention, if there is crying, then we remain as we are, these beings. The single cell is in control of our lives and our future, because there is fear and fear of trying to marginalize or ignore them, because then the gates of hell will open for us. Nevin wrote, I was going to ask the same question because I cannot believe that it is Miro's grandfather. I wrote, I am his friends with lunch. Nasser wrote, it means mentioning the great name of God. Does he analyze her food? I wonder if pork can become halal if God's name is mentioned on it. Jihan wrote, I think jinn is a soul without a body or a muscular system. Does this mean it does not eat or drink? Even the Muslim jinn wrote a book, Poverty, the Catcher of Muslims. Ziyad wrote a tragedy. An idea that the nation pays the price for. I wonder what the Arab country's position is on such fatwas, or if this is only in Egypt. Abdullah Rushdi published this post. It was hot for people like you. The crying cry. My father, if Sinwar is absent, Gaza will be in parentheses. May God help it, the land of the free. Nashwa al-Anani published this post. The Palestinian issue is about land. I lost this land. Any more talk and empty talk. On the other hand, Dr. Mostafa Madbouly announces the reasons for announcing an increase in fuel prices on vacation days. Will the citizen be at home? Her watch? The second reason is to ensure that the citizen wakes up and rides a car and there is no problem. Number 3. On vacation, so you don't have to worry. The dispute mentioned is that it occurs between the provider and the recipient of the service. Number 4. I cannot announce it in advance. I say tomorrow I will do this. It will not work. Number 5. Do you know what will happen? Will he store it? We will find practices to limit them. It must be in a certain harmony. Number 6 tells you that the government will always be upset with us during vacations. This is not the purpose of the topic. Number 7, the citizen is sitting at home. There are formats. And so that he knows the news, Negi comes to the clothes that I told you about at the beginning. A letter to the father of Jesus. One of the children did not go and leave him to a mother of Taqiyya to raise him. This mother told him that he has another father called Jesus Christ, and he dwells in heaven, and he sends him everything he needs. So he believed in me. I asked him to go to school. Amount. At £1, the child knew that he did not have this amount, and if he did not pay this amount, he would be expelled from school. So he remembered his mother's words about Jesus Christ. So he decided to send his father a letter. So he sent a letter. I know you, father of Jesus. I need the amount of 100 pistas immediately. Otherwise, it will be from school, and mom doesn't have that amount. Please send me the amount. Quickly then closed the letter and wrote over the envelope. Jesus delivered the address heaven to the hand of Jesus, affixed a postage stamp to it, and threw it into the box with all confidence and faith. But when the postman read the address of the letter, he was impressed, as it was not on the lists. They had a town called Heaven, so one of them decided to open the envelope and find out the secret of this letter, and when he read it and learned what was in it, he decided to appoint the child and send him the required amount. Unable to pay the full amount, he decided to collect the money from his colleagues and the workers with him at the post office, so he collected only 90 piastres at the hour, so he sent a postal order in the child's name, as if Jesus' father was the one who sent this amount. The child was very happy and decided to send a second letter thanking Jesus for the amount he had sent to him. So I sent a note thanking you, Father, for sending me the amount of your dead penny. But the postman took 10 piastres and sent me only 90 piastres. Oh Lord, guide me, even a small part of this faith, which is the faith of a child, with which to face the challenges of life. And as the Bible says, call on me in the day of trouble to save you. So glorify me in the Psalm 50, and let the Lord's name be glorified. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to receive all updates. Share your comments with us, and thanks to all fans and followers. Thank you.